Univision Unews. I'm Carolina Sarassa, and thank you for being here with us. And we began this hour with the latest on the coronavirus epidemic. Here in the U.S., health officials reporting more than 790 cases so far. Universities and colleges are shifting classes to online only, and companies are asking employees to work from home. All this as stocks began to recover after yesterday's plunge. Lorraine Cáceres reports. Our new updates by the minute. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo earlier today announced a 1-mile containment zone in New Rochelle, which is in Westchester County, right outside New York City. The area has emerged as an epicenter for the state's outbreak. Cuomo announced at a press conference today that the state will deploy the National Guard to New Rochelle to contain the virus and also to help deliver food to homes and clean public spaces. The governor added that the state doesn't plan to close streets or enforce.
Chacho, dile bendición a tía Carmita. Y un beso, que ella se va mañana tomorrow early. Y tú no la vas a ver. Sí. Oíste, Chacho.
That's it. The scene of 21 positive cases of coronavirus. Dulce Castellanos is at the in Oakland, California. Dulce, how is the process going?
Good afternoon. That's right. The Grand Princess finally was able to dock yesterday afternoon. In the process to disembark, thousands of passengers began slowly. There are about 2,000 in San Diego in the southern part of the state where they will be quarantined for the following weeks. We don't know yet where the rest of the military bases are located, but we do know there are in states in Texas and Georgia where other people that live in other parts of the country will also be headed. Now, there are many forms who can be flown out of the country without being in contact with the community and minimizing the spread of this virus. This is what we have in Oakland, California. I'm Dulce Castellanos. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dulce Castellanos, for that report from California. And now President Trump, meanwhile, is pushing an economic relief package for businesses and workers. The stimulus plan would include a cut in payroll taxes and would benefit hourly workers. It would also help small businesses and the travel industry. Janet Rodriguez has details from Washington, D.C. Janet.
And we haven't gotten any details from the Senate today. What we do know is that the president will be meeting with Senate Republicans. He said this at a press conference yesterday at the White House. Opposed to the payroll tax cuts, they do not believe that this is the right way to go about it, although there is bipartisan support that something needs to be done to incentivize the economy. The president promised in a press couple of days, but here in Congress, the waiting game continues today to see when the president will come up to the Senate, who he will meet with, and what kind of economic incentive he will present to the Senate to incentivize the economy, as everyone is in fear of a possible recession. So it's a waiting game, as I said here, and we do expect to hear from the president much later this afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you, Janet. And one more note, during a meeting with insurance companies at the White House, Vice President Mike Pence announced that some insurance companies have agreed to waive co-pays for the coronavirus testing. And people infected by coronavirus usually go where historic steps are being taken to contain the spread of the virus. The entire country, all 60 million of its residents, on lockdown. And so far, there is no vaccine for the coronavirus. But amongst those working on one is a research facility in Texas, and they are making some progress. Grecia Lasta reports. Amid mounting concerns about the spread of coronavirus, voters are casting their ballots today in 6 states. The CDC has provided guidance for cleaning voting machines and other technology present at polling sites, but fears linger on how the spread of the coronavirus can impact this election. And here to discuss this is Maurice Turner from the Center for Democracy. And moving on, a California restaurant is taking extra precautions against coronavirus. Not only are they asking employees to sanitize tables and doors, but they're also taking customers' temperatures. Roger Borges explains. And as we continue to update you on the latest developments of the coronavirus outbreak, up next, the race for the White House. It is a critical day in the race for the White House. Voters are heading to the polls this morning in 6 states. Frontrunner Joe Biden racking up endorsements, Bernie Sanders drawing big crowds and hoping he can save his campaign with with a comeback win in Michigan, and the Linares has the latest. And a reminder, Univision and CNN will broadcast a debate amongst the Democratic presidential. And you might think it is good news that oil prices are dropping because that means lower prices at the pump. But American companies whose business relies on oil are feeling the pinch. Paula Byron explains why. And Boston's first cannabis store is now open. It opened on Monday. A hockey coach melts down. A teaching assistant in Massachusetts has been fired and arrested for sexually assaulting students. Police say Matthews, hockey coach in Massachusetts, has been fired after a meltdown on the ice that was caught on camera. Angie Sandoval has the full story. A plane stuck in a tree after making an emergency landing in the backyard of a Florida home. 2 men and a dog were on board, but as Jorge Hernandez explains, they all made it uninjured. And coming up next, police investigate now turning to Mexico. While this Sunday, women crowded the streets to celebrate International Women's Day, Monday was exactly the opposite. Thousands of women decided to stay home to demand justice for victims of gender-based violence and ask the government for help to stop femicides in the country. Joining me now from Mexico City is Lisa Sanchez. Renowned as soccer star on one of Latin America's most iconic teams, faces charges of attempted femicide and domestic violence. Renato Ibarra and 5 members of his family, all accused in connection with an incident at the soccer player's home. Diana Ponte explains. And coming up, back to Unews. In today's tech report, using technology to fight the coronavirus, including Apple's updated advice on cleaning your devices. But first, how South Korea is making sure people stay in quarantine. Here's Annabelle Sedat.
Hi there, that's right, and we begin with this. South Korea's government will begin using a GPS-based app to ensure people in quarantine stay in quarantine. The system will set off an alarm when people under monitoring leave their designated locations. It will be implemented in 2 main areas where about 90% of national infections have been reported. South Korean authorities have said they have several instances in which many have broken quarantine and left their homes. Moving on to this one, Postmates has a new option for customers worried about the coronavirus. Contact free delivery. Users of the grocery delivery company can now select it on the app or can choose delivery to the door or to the curb. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the coronavirus spreads mainly through person-to-person contact. And finally, it turns out you could use disinfecting wipes to clean your iPhones without damaging the coating. Apple released a flash message acknowledging the change on its stance after fear of the coronavirus, saying it's okay to use disinfecting wipes and 70% alcohol on its products. Health officials say the disease can live on glass, metal, and plastic surfaces for more than a week. So there you have it. I'm Annabelle Sedano, and that was your daily dose of tech news. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, Annabelle. Coming up, if you think it is time to get back in touch with your childhood. A Montana company lets you play in the dirt with a grown-up version of a sandbox. In this case, you get to participate and to operate heavy construction equipment on a scale you never thought possible as a kid. Miriam Murungi has more details. And some midmates in Virginia are bonded with new 4-legged friends who visited. That was a beautiful picture. That's all the time that we have for today. I'm Carolina Sarassa, and we will see you tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Muchas gracias.